Hey everybody, David here, and today I'm going to be talking about Arrow Season 6, Episode 2, Tribute. And first of all, let me get this huge elephant out of the room. Bruce Wayne, that's right, the Batman himself, got a name drop in today's episode, and that was really cool. Obviously, if you follow Mark Guggenheim or Stephen Amell, they kind of hinted that a big name drop was going to be coming. And I was like, I literally wrote to Mark Guggenheim, or tweeted to him, and I tweeted, if it's not Bruce Wayne, then it's not cool enough. And funny enough, last night, we get a clip of Oliver Queen name dropping Bruce Wayne. So it looks like the coolest name drop ever happened finally in the Arrowverse, confirming that Bruce Wayne, even if we might never see him on the show, Bruce Wayne is in the Arrowverse in some capacity. We kind of got a few references of him in Supergirl too, so to Batman. So we know he could be on many Earths, different variations of him. But the fact that he was name dropped on Arrow makes it even more special, considering that Arrow is very Batman-like to begin with. And if there is a hero that I think we'd like to see him team up with, I think Green Arrow would make the most sense, seeing they do team up quite a bit in the comics, so there you go on that. Now let's get to the rest of the episode. I gotta say, I really like this episode. I really think it was a step up from last week, which I think I was kind of disappointed by. I didn't hate the episode last week. I just felt it felt a little rushed at times, and I felt like some questions or some things they just cheapened out on. This episode, I didn't feel, even though they kind of solved it at the end, there's a little leeway there that it could still come back to haunt him. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that they left that all open. Let's start off with, Oliver Queen has his identity is now known because of a picture being leaked. They believe it's Antonelli who has returned to cause chaos for Oliver Queen by kidnapping some people that he was, showing around town, showing them what he plans to do as mayor to make business in Star City. And one by one, Antonelli is killing them. Seeing that Antonelli, I think he was introduced in season 2, then came back last season. Seeing him turn as the villain now is interesting, but he's a villain he's not like a full out, mustache twirly villain. He's kind of this guy that feels betrayed by what Oliver did to him in the past. He feels like he was betrayed by a friend. And so with that, he kind of has honor with him. Because he even points out to Oliver, which I really liked at the end of the episode, how, hey, if I didn't have honor, I would, kidnap your son and torture him or kill him or whatever. And so that was kind of a good point. And the fact that he admitted that he didn't leak the pictures was added another layer to him, showing that, hey, I wouldn't let the audience, the people out there, know your identity. I would keep that to myself just so I can get you myself. We also got a little bit of Diggle, and we've learned a little bit more about him, what happened on the island, why he had a little bit of trouble in the last episode using a gun. Apparently he hit a nerve. I think we knew about the thing in his chest. But I don't know. I felt that was kind of the weak point of the episode for me. I didn't mind it, but it was like, whatever. Get over it, Diggle. Come on, man. You handled worse than a sharp null penetrating you. Come on. If you needed to, you could have gotten an operation, get it out fast. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. We then have some stuff with William in this episode as well. And I actually gotta say, the William stuff was actually a lot better in this episode than it was last week, where I felt last week he felt like he was being written like a 5-year-old kid. This episode, I felt he was being treated a little bit more his age. I actually like that scene where Oliver even kind of gives him some pointers on how to deal with 8th graders, just punch them in the nose. I thought that was some nice, better scenes than a much more bigger improvement than last week with the scenes with William today. So that I really enjoyed. Like I said earlier, I think the FBI agent that we saw investigating Oliver and company, not to get confused with the Disney movie, I think we will be seeing her again in the future. After all, we don't know who leaked the picture, right? So I think it's going to be Michael Emerson's character. We know Michael Emerson from Lost, he played Benjamin Linus, I think the name was, from Lost. He was the villain with the glasses. I have a feeling it's going to be his character. I don't know. That's my prediction right now. I'm hoping William actually gets to be in the crossover, because there's a part of me that wants to see Barry have a little conversation with William, telling William how cool his father actually is. Because Barry, it will kind of come back full circle, seeing how in the beginning William was a huge fan of The Flash, and then he kind of turned to Green Arrow after Green Arrow rescued him that one time, but now he's kind of, a little resentful of his father. They're starting to bond a little bit here and there, like at the end of this episode. But it would be cool if, like, Barry can, like, kind of make it complete. And because I think if someone you look up to as a hero says your dad is cool, I think you kind of, especially if you're a kid that age, I think you start to look at your father even more cooler than he already was. So I just think that would be a nice little moment in the crossover coming up later this season, that I'm kind of hoping they do something like that. There was something at the very end here, too, that was very important. It looks like Oliver is going to be stepping down as Green Arrow, obviously not for too long, but allowing Diggle to take over. Maybe they're even going to swap once in a while. I think that would be interesting. Like, maybe it's not always Oliver in the Green Arrow suit. We've seen Diggle in the Green Arrow suit before, so to have him maybe taking alternate... maybe taking turns with Oliver would make things interesting for the show, make things feel different, like letting Diggle lead the team once in a while, or and when Oliver feels like he can go out and kick some ass, let him help out, I don't know how they're going to resolve that, because we know Oliver is going to be in the crossover. I mean, unless he pulls a Thea and says, you know what, I'm coming back for the crossover, but then I'm going to retire again after that. Especially if there is a doppelganger of... we do know Green Arrow has a doppelganger, and there were pictures released recently, not officially, but leaked photos on set of Stephen Amell in the Green Arrow costume. So we know he's coming back as Green Arrow. But full time, we don't know. So I'm excited to see where they're going to go with that, and I think it would be cool if they had like Oliver and Diggle switching spots once in a while. That to me would be pretty. It would be different. I am also hoping that Oliver does reveal his identity before the end of the season. I think that would be a nice change of pace from these superhero shows where they always have to keep the identity. Let it be like Iron Man, where one of these heroes outs himself and says, I am the Green Arrow. And let's see what a show like that would be. That would be very different from what we usually get. And that's what I think these DC TV shows need to do. Especially the CW ones. I want them to go to places that we haven't seen in a superhero TV show yet. That's what made The Flash Season 1 great. That's what made the early seasons of Arrow great. Legends of Tomorrow is getting there. Supergirl is, I feel that's the show that's kind of getting stuck in this area where it's stuck in those typical superhero cliches, and I'm rooting for Supergirl to get out of there. I feel like Arrow's starting to get back up thanks to season 5 and 6. So far, so good. So, second episode done. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and until next week, take care.